to make a custom bulkhead, you'll need a couple of different things. First and foremost, you will need a Dremel rotary tool. I use the Dremel 300 series. In addition, you will need the Dremel 678-01 circle cutting guide. With that will come the Dremel 561 multi-purpose cutting bit. We'll use that to actually cut our material. We'll also need a Dremel 150 drill bit. I believe that is 1/8 inch diameter. We'll also be using some double stick tape, a metal ruler, and of course the material our bulkheads will be made from. This is a 3-ply plywood that's about 1/16 inch in thickness. And of course we'll want some kind of workstation. Since we'll be cutting deeper than the thickness of this, you want some other kind of wood that you don't care about cutting so you don't hit your work surface. And of course, I always clamp everything down just to make sure everything is nice and secure. Okay, let's get started. So I've gone ahead and already took care of some of the initial steps. I drilled a hole through both my material here and my workstation. The pivot point for the circle cutting tool actually goes in deeper than the thickness of my plywood, so this is going to let it sit flush while I'm cutting. I also put some double-sided tape on here. This is going to make sure that this sits nice and firm against this, and it will keep it from flinging or going flying anywhere. So I'll need to match up my holes and push it flat. Next, I've attached my Dremel to my cutting guide. As you can see, you have the cutting bit right here and your pivot point. And then you have your depth guide. So I set my depth just a little more than the thickness of the plywood itself. And then I used a metal ruler to figure out what radius I need to cut to make the perfect sized bulkhead. Of course, you'll want to measure that when it's not plugged in so you don't actually turn it on, and you'll also need to do some basic math. So I know we have a 2.5 inch coupler we're trying to fit these into, and that's the outside diameter. I know that the thickness of the wall is 0.04 inches, so I can take the 2.5 inches, divide that by 2 to get the radius, and minus the 0.04 inches to get the radius I need. So I need 1.21 inches radius for my circle. So using my small metal ruler, I'll go ahead and space these. I will always cut just a little bit bigger because it's much easier to sand down my circle to make it fit than it is to try to add material to it. Once we get that done, this is secured, your workstation's all ready and set to go. We'll go ahead and we'll take our Dremel. We'll put this in our little pilot hole and we will kick this on and push it all the way through. So once you're flush, you slowly start turning. Then you'll want to turn off your Dremel and then pull that up from the tape. And then it'll be a little hot, but you got your round bulkhead. And of course, for the baffle we're building, you'll actually need 2 of them. Some of the edges are a little rough and they will need to be sanded down, but otherwise, not bad for a nice little homemade bulkhead.